Shabbat Shalom. I was thinking about this amazing tradition from which we come, the tradition of Judaism, and how it's really a tradition which emphasizes the value of 200% of life. And what do I mean by that? 200% of life, 100% of the spiritual aspect of life, and 100% of the material aspect of life, both together. And I'm thinking of a very pregnant phrase that we find in the book of Exodus. It says that, this is God speaking to the Jewish people, he says, we are Mamlechet Kohanim V'Goy Kadosh. We are a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. But I want to just go into this very interesting phrase for a moment. Mamlechet means a kingdom, and it can be any kind of kingdom. Any kingdom in the world would be called a mamlechet. But then it says Mamlechet Kohanim, a kingdom of priests. So everyone in the kingdom is supposed to be like a priest. Now this is an interesting kind of contrast, because usually the priests are the elite. And in fact, within Judaism, we had the Kohanim and the Leviim. They were the elite caste of ritual servants. But particularly in post-temple times, there's been a democratization of the priestly role. And really everyone is expected to play the role of a priest or priestess. Everyone is responsible for doing the mitzvot, and many of them are rituals that wouldn't be demanded of lay people in an ordinary religion. We're all expected to be like priests or priestesses in Judaism. So Mamlechet Kohanim, a kingdom of priests. And it also says Goy Kadosh, a holy nation. Goy is the generic word for nation. Now, in Yiddish parlance, in Jewish parlance, when we say Goy, we ordinarily mean a non-Jew. But the word really means nation. And we, Jews, are also a Goy. We are also a nation, but not just an ordinary nation, but Goy Kadosh. So what are the implications of being a Goy Kadosh? Look at the modern state of Israel. It is a Goy. It is a nation with its political parties, with its political divisions, with its charges and counter-charges of corruption, with its share of convicted political leaders convicted of corruption, with the challenge of the defense of the people and all that entails, Israel's wars being, we would say, wars of defense, but certainly the world doesn't necessarily look at it that way. So we need to be, as a Goy Kadosh, extra special careful that the wars that we fight be just wars, and that we fight them in a just way. You see, Judge Goldstone, when he participated in the Goldstone Report, which was very, very critical of the Israeli operation in Gaza a few years back, people questioned how Judge Goldstone, a good Jew, and something of a Zionist even, could sit on the Goldstone Commission and write this terribly critical report. Goldstone felt that it was his duty as a Jew to criticize the Jewish people for wrongdoing. And you know, the report was very controversial, and some of it, I think, was even false charges against the Israeli Defense Forces. But still, the fact that Goldstone felt this obligation to do the just thing and the right thing, even at the expense of the reputation of the State of Israel, I thought, in that sense, was admirable. So, we are really expected to combine so many opposites in this Jewish way of life. We are expected to be really a spiritual people. At the same time, we're expected to be not disconnected from this world. In Jewish terms, it's fine to earn a living. It's fine to have a good car and a good house and a good job and live in a good neighborhood. But that is not the extent of living a good Jewish life, certainly. There needs to be that 100% of spirituality in addition to that. And so I think, unlike most religious traditions on earth, Judaism is a religion of balance. We're expected to be spiritual, we're expected to be material. Not one at the expense of the other, but both together. We're expected to be able to live in a state, a land of our own, Liot Am Chofshi, to be a free people in our free land, and at the same time it has to be highly ethical, highly moral in the way that it conducts itself. Or else, what happens? The world comes down on us. And we could even see this as being the voice of God speaking to us. Be careful. You are a goy, but don't be like all the other goyim. You are a mamlechet, but don't be like all the other kingdoms out there. You are mamlechet kohanim. You're a nation of priests. You are a goy kadosh. You are a holy nation. And this is the challenge and also the privilege of being a member of the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon in Shul. And if not, you should be enjoying your winter wherever you happen to be in the world. Shabbat Shalom.